Okay, this is 250, week 6, video 10. This is the end of week 6. I did it. All right, good. This is a good spot. I'm gonna come back here. This is like a really nice, this is, I like this bit. And the thing on the tree, man, I'm getting the hang of it. Okay, let's go take a look at what's going on here. So his point is that he says that characters in books, they're just made of words. They feel like real people. When you read Hamlet, I feel like Hamlet's a real person. Like, he seems to be dealing with some serious psychological issues with manic depressiveness, and I might write a whole essay about Hamlet's psychological issues and his manic states and his clinical depression. His manic depressive cycle or whatever. But you see, what Derrida would point out that I'm doing wrong there is I'm treating Hamlet like a person. I'm imagining that the words are giving me access to some reality where Hamlet is a real guy. And Derrida's like, Hamlet's not a real guy. This is just what you are talking. You think you're talking about a person, but you're actually just talking about a collection of words. And the fucked up thing is, Hamlet feels like a real person to me. He actually seems more real to me than people that I know. Because I know him better than people that I know, because Hamlet confesses to me what's going on in his inner life, in his heart, his brain, and a lot of the people I know don't tell me what's going on with them, or they have trouble speaking that clearly, and Hamlet speaks, I know you don't think he speaks clearly, but he has a lot to say, and he says interesting things, and once you get used to it, he speaks very clearly about what's going on with him. Or that's actually not quite right, but he reveals things about himself that normal people don't reveal, because normal people don't. Hamlet will give like a giant speech just to like the audience, whereas my friends tend not to do that. They just sort of talk to each other, and I just watch them talk. And then I think I figure things out about them. But Derrida's point is that Hamlet's not a real guy. All right, cool. Okay. And this is very depressing. It's very depressing because hundreds of years of writing about literature has been based off of talking about the characters as if they were real people. And Derrida is here to remind us that none of these fuckers are real, and that you think you've been talking about people like Hamlet and Gertrude and Claudius, but all you've ever done is just talked about a pile of words. And all you ever did, you thought it was getting you closer to truth or whatever. But all it's doing is there's a pile of words that the characters say, and then I write a pile of words about what those characters say. I have doubled the commentary. There were words, and there's more words, and that's fucking it. This is a huge fuck you. I mentioned earlier that he blew up all of philosophy, but he also blows up a lot of literature by pointing out that none of this, he really emphasizes the way in which none of this is real. And if you think it's real, it's because you've gotten tricked. If you think it's getting you closer to reality or people, you're fooling yourself. It's like the Joker. See, the whole point of the Joker is people believe in things, and the Joker's like, all the stuff you believe in is bullshit. And that's the entire point of the Joker, is to fuck with people. All right, let's take a look at what else is going on here. What we've tried to show by following the guiding line of the dangerous supplement, I'm not dealing with that right now. In that what one calls the real life of these existences of flesh and bone, beyond and behind what one believes can be circumscribed by Shakespeare's text, there has never been anything but writing. There has never been anything but supplements, meaning there's the reality and then words are like the extra bits. Substitutive significations, which could only come forth in a chain of differential references, the real supervening and being added only while taking on meaning from a trace and an invocation of the supplement. Okay, I'm not doing all of that. But he talks about the chain of signification. That's what I was talking about earlier. Words refer to words, refer to words, refer to words, refer to words. And when you get enough of them, you're like, I got reality. And he's like, no, you don't. Words only refer to other words, and they don't refer to reality. Fuck you. So, all right, and then he's got some crazy terms in there, but I don't really want to deal with that. Right, but that's the point of his a chain of differential references, meaning is the words that refer to different words that refer to different words that refer to different words, and they reference each other, not reality. The real is added later. It sort of takes its meaning from the words, but it's like, is that really reality? And thus to real mother, and thus to infinity, for we have read in the text that the absolute present nature. Okay, I'm not doing this because this is about the book that he's talking about, and we're not talking about that book. We're talking about a different book. Okay. Although it is not commentary, our reading must be intrinsic and remain within the text. So Derrida's doing something. He's doing philosophy and not the normal kind of commentary. But he says it's limited by words. That is why, in spite of certain appearances, locating of the word supplement is here not all psychoanalytical, even if by that we understand interpretation takes us outside the writing toward a psychobiographical signified, or even toward a general psychological structure that could rightly be separated from the signifier. There we go. That's interesting. He's a psychological structure that could be separated from the signifier. If you go to psychotherapy, if you go to analysis, if you have a therapist, or what are you doing? Words. You're talking and talking. And Hamlet says, Polonius says, what are you reading? And Hamlet says, words, words, words. Polonius was meaning like, what kind of book are you reading? He knew Hamlet was reading words. That's not a helpful answer. But if you go to therapy, you're just generating words, more and more and more words. And Derrida's not sure that these words are really, so you're like, I'm going to get to the reality of myself as a person. But he's like, if you're doing it with words, all you have are words. Like, that's it. You're not really getting to reality. You're just getting to additional words. Okay. The method has occasionally been opposed to traditional doubling commentary. It could be shown that it actually comes to terms with it quite easily. The security with which the commentary considers the self-identity of the text, the confidence with which it carves out its contour goes hand in hand with the tranquil assurance, here we go, that leaps over the text towards its presumed content in the direction of a pure signifier. That's what's talking about philosophy. It leaps over the text, trying to get to reality. But you can't ever leap over the text, because all you have is text. All it is words. And if it's not words, it's images, but images work the same way, which is there's a reality and the images are based off of reality. So the same problems start to insert themselves. Okay, cool. Can I tell you something? I feel like I'm kind of done with this. Let me go see if there's anything else to talk about. Okay, you look at the sky for a hot second, and I'm going to change the page and see if there's anything on the next page that I want to do. You guys are okay. Oh, look, there's not even that much on here. All right. We're going to finish this right fucking now. All right. And we're going to finish the unit. Guys, we're finishing the whole fucking unit in the next couple of minutes, because I'm not reading all of this because it's dumb. The philosopher, the chronicle, the theoretician in general is taken by surprise, meaning everybody's surprised to realize what Derrida's pointing out. But in each case, the person writing is inscribed in a textual system, for there was never a pure signified. There are different relationships as to that which from the signifier is presented as the irreducible strat. All right, well, I can't even do this anymore. For example, the philosophical text, although it always is in fact written, includes, precisely as its philosophical specificity, the project of effacing itself in the face of a signified content which it transports and generally reaches, meaning it uses words, but the whole point of a philosophy book or a religious text is to get you beyond words into a bigger reality like truth or God, and you can't do that. So he's just saying the same thing over and over again. Yeah, I think we're done. I'm gonna go ahead and call this the. I think this is the end of Derrida. I think I made the point. Derrida's ridiculous. Guys, we've reached the end of Unit 1. Good job, everybody. Thank you for joining me for this ridiculous thing. It took us 6 weeks. The next 2 units are going to be faster. But let's do a quick review since we're on our way out. Okay. Plato says it's about the relationship between art and reality for all of these guys. Plato says art is a copy of reality, but it's a bad copy, and it actually distracts you from what you should care about, which is something above reality, higher heavenly truth and God, etc. Sidney says, Plato, you're crazy. Art doesn't take people, doesn't tell lies. Like, art is a separate thing. It's fiction. Don't get stressed about it. And then Pope says, Plato, I agree with you. Art does copy reality. But you think that art copies reality in a bad way. I think God made reality, and so a copy of reality would be doing what God did. That's great. Follow God. That's excellent. Oscar Wilde says art should not be a copy of reality. Reality sucks. Art tells lies because we're escaping from reality. We want to be in a separate reality, maybe of just music and color, with no story at all. We don't have to care about whether it's realistic or not. That's stupid. It has no relation to reality. It's doing its own thing. Baudrillard says, boy, you guys have been talking an awful lot about the relationship between art and reality, but I'm starting to think maybe I can't tell the difference between art and reality. And Derrida uses words as his primary thing, but he's talking about man-made stuff like words. And he's like, people assume that art refers to reality. Words refer to reality. Images refer to reality. But do they? I think they may not in the way that we ordinarily think that they do, in which case all of the shit that we're doing may be completely fucking wrong. Because if art never, because Plato and Plato and Pope thought that art should refer to reality, but it might not, in which case the whole history of philosophy is wrong, and the whole history of treating fictional characters as if they were real is wrong. Guys, we have successfully completed Unit 1 of class, the art and reality unit. I will see you next week with art and authors. New thing, totally new subject. Yeah.